I have C.
This one I was confused on. I thought they all kind of made sense.
Yeah.
That's how I was, so I didn't actually have one.
Yeah, I actually put A, but I didn't spend much time on this, and so I wouldn't take that. But I just remember reading on the PowerPoint, it says that the diagram, that the green arrows, which represent like the GDP, that it represents the flow of income / payments. So that's what I thought it would be, both of them. But I mean, like I said, that's probably not right.
Any thoughts, Clay? I mean, Cade. Sorry.
Sorry. So for this one, I've got D, but it's one of those. It's kind of like the other ones. I really can't justify why I put D there.
Okay, we'll come back to this one at the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Question 3.
That's the first option.
I got A.
Yep.
Question 4. I put A.
Me too.
Yes.
Same.
5. I put A as well.
I had D.
Okay.
I have B.
I had B also.
Okay.
5. I've got B.
Okay, I got it by. I did 20,000 times $3, and then I did 40,000 times $1, and then I divided 20,000 by 60,000, which is 0.33.
Shouldn't it be 60,000 divided by 40,000, which would be 3/2?
That's what I did.
Okay, maybe that's what it is.
Like logically, I think that would make more sense to me, because if you're using the same units, you'd want them to carry over to what you're dividing.
Yeah.
Right, but is it 3.5 times as much, or is it, because total 6,000 or 60,000 is 2/3 of the total amount?
How does A contribute?
Question, I don't know.
Yeah, I just did 60,000 divided by 40,000, which is 3/2. But yeah, I'm not sure if that's right.
So
Yeah.
when I did that too.
Yeah, me too.
1.5 is 3/2, right?
Okay.
Right.
Sounds good.
But I see what you mean. Okay, we can put that and come back to it. I'm not really sure about that one. I think this was the hardest chapter so far for me anyways. I had a hard time with a lot of these.
6, I had D.
Me too.
Okay. I would really appreciate it if somebody could explain this afterwards, because I had no idea how to do this one.
Yeah, 6, I got D.
Okay, we'll put D and then maybe someone can explain it afterwards. 7, I didn't understand either. I put D, but that was my best.
I had C.
C.
I put C also.
Okay, so we need to come back to that. B. I put B, but it was one of my guesses. It was like the closest I got.
I got C. 8
Me
million.
too.
Yeah.
8 is D, I thought.
I did 8 million because it's finished goods. It's how you measure GDP.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense to me.
Wait, so then wouldn't it be 7 million?
Yeah, because I thought if it was like if it got put into inventory, then it would just be counted as the intermediate.
Yeah, but they produced 8 million.
When I read it, inventory goes towards GDP, but then when it gets sold later, it gets subtracted and added somewhere else, so it evens itself out. Is how I understood it.
Okay.
So I still thought it was
That
8.
sounds familiar.
Yeah, I still think it's 8 too.
Okay.
Okay, so 8 million on that one. Okay. 9, I wrote A.
I had B.
Okay.
I got B.
Me too.
I just remember them. I remember something in the book saying that if, like, for the second option, purchases of newly constructed homes, that those were not in the investment, even though you would think that they were. They were in the consumption, and they are counted as rentals, even though they're purchased. Do you remember reading that?
I remember reading the opposite, but
Okay, what do you remember reading? You're probably right.
residential capital, including the landlord's apartment building and the homeowner's personal residence. That's not what I meant to read, sorry. I was just on the page. The purchase of a new house is the one type of household spending categorized as investment rather than consumption,
Okay.
is what the book says, at least.
That's so weird. Because I could have sworn I read the exact opposite thing.
That one was way tricky. I still don't really get that whole house thing.
Yeah, I don't get a lot of that either. It's hard.
How, if it was rented, they would say that you're like renting to yourself if you own a home.
Yeah.
That's where I got confused, because then I thought that would not be counted as an investment. But okay. 10, I got B.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
11, I got C.
I got A.
Me too.
Okay, so
Sorry.
I don't know if I'm right. I'm probably not, because I didn't understand this very well. But I subtracted everything from the GDP, which was 8,000.
So the formula says net export, so it's exports minus imports is a negative. Or net exports is added as a negative to your equation.
So it's just 600 instead of 1,200 plus 600. Okay. Okay.
Is what I got, but
Can you explain that one more time, please?
yeah, so in the book it talked about how the equation for GDP, your net exports is exports minus imports, and then it's added as a negative.
Oh, I see. So you would subtract 600.
Yeah.
GDP. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
At least that's how I understood it from the book. Again, I'm not. I don't know.
Wait, so how do you find that if you're subtracting anyways?
So you add up 3,000 and 1,200 and then, hold on.
And then you subtract 600?
I think so. Let me just do it one more time. I don't have my calculations in front of me anymore. 3,000 plus 1,200 minus 600 minus 8,000. No, so then you add 3,000 and 1,200 and add the 600 to get the 3,200.
Okay.
So I guess it could be 32 or 44 if you subtract it. I don't know.
Okay, so 12, the exports you don't count. Is that what you're saying?
So you do add the net exports unless it's a negative number. But this one did end up being more exports than imports, so we add the 600.
Oh,
Okay.
So the example in the book was negative because they spent more on imports than exports. So that's why I got confused. But so you just add them all up, but you subtract imports from exports.
Okay, so net exports is 600, or sorry, net exports is imports subtract exports.
No, other way around.
Oh.
Exports minus imports.
so it'd be 600 plus
Mhm.
3,000 plus 1,200.
And then subtract that all from 8,000 to get your investment.
Okay,
Is what I did. But
No, that's
Yeah.
probably right. That's right.
that sounds right.
I forgot about the equation for net exports. So 3,200, right? That's what you said.
Mhm.
Okay. 12, I got D,
Same.
and it was just because I looked at this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't this another way to say imports?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. 13, I wrote C.
I had A, and I went back and looked in the book for that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I got A too.
Sorry, guys.
13's A.
Okay, so nominal GDP from the base year that cannot be attributable. I don't even know how to say that. Attributable
Attributable.
to a change in real GDP.
I don't know what it means. I just literally saw the same sentence in the book. So
Okay, I'm gonna copy that really quick because I'm not gonna remember that. Okay, 14. What did you guys get?
2017.
Oh, I got 2016.
I keep getting these mixed up. So the real GDP is the one that the price stays the same, and then the nominal, the price changes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The nominal is the one where it's based off of what's listed for that year.
Okay.
Yeah. Like the new number, the new price.
So like if it changes from 5 to 4 or 5 to 6, then that changes according to the quantity.
So when you do 12 times 650 and then 5 times 950, that's higher GDP than this row. So wouldn't that mean it's 2016?
I can double check my math.
Do you see what I mean? Or does that not make any sense?
Well, because they're both, but the quantity's different. At 6, it's $9.25, but it's $6. And the $6.25 is at 12.
Okay, let me do the math again. So 12 times
650 is 780 plus 950 times 5 is 12,550. And then for 2017, it's 7,500 plus 5,550, which is 1,350, if my math's right. So I got 2017.
Yeah, that's what I just got as well. I just did it really quick.
Yeah, me too. Okay, you're right. I didn't do the math on that one. I just was looking at the numbers and I was like, that looks like more to me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay. So you're right, 2017. 15. I did not know on this one. And I made like 4 charts trying to figure it out, and I have no idea how to figure this out.
Yeah, 15 I struggled on really hard too.
The closest thing I got was, well, 2 different times I did it, and one time I got the 31%, and the other time I got 53%. So I don't know.
The closest I got was the 15, so that doesn't help.
Well, I think you're more on the right track than I.
No. This one, I was just trying numbers. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying to find a percentage growth that looked closest. Because if you look, it goes from like the output. So that's the total numbers. And so I was doing like percentages of the totals.
Yeah.
And they all grow by like not a lot. Well, that's not true. You said which ones?
31 and 53.
20 to 25.
And then when I was finishing up this quiz, I was realizing that we probably have to use that formula.
Formula.
There's a formula in the book that talks about the GDP deflator, and then you can change it after you do that equation. Then you can have enough information to do the inflation rate. And I'm pretty sure you have to use both those formulas to get the answer to this. I just haven't.
This is an inflation rate, though.
But if the output grew, wouldn't that be the inflation?
So I just got the 53.6.
You did. What did you do to get there?
I did 1920 minus 1250 divided by 1920. Oh, no, I didn't. That's wrong. Hold on. I did 1920 minus 1250 divided by 1250. No, I don't know what I did.
Where's the 1950 coming from?
The total output. So the $6 times 180 plus the $3.50 times 240. Added those two numbers together.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I wasn't doing anything with the prices since it's just talking about the production, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think the prices matter at all in this question. So I was just adding 180 plus 240.
Well, to find, yeah, so that would be.
So that's 420, and then the production for 2017 is 350. So then I was trying to so the difference between those two is 70. And then that's where I got stuck.
Well, because if you're doing a percentage, usually you add the two and then divide by one of them.
Yeah, right. So then I was like, well, what number do you divide it by? The first one? Because
I don't know.
let's see, if 70 divided by 350, that's 2, so 20%. And that's not any of them, so. Does anybody else have any ideas?
Give me just a sec. I've got one. I'll try it out.
Okay, I'm going to try the one you thought you found. You said 15.4 was your closest one?
Yeah, but then when I was solving earlier, I got 53.6, but I don't know how I got it, so I can't prove it now. I don't. So, I don't know.
Let's see if I can figure out that one.
So the final percentage is final minus start divided by start.
Okay, so then you do it by the first number, like the earlier year.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't get the 15 one when I did it the way I was doing it with the first one. And then try the very first one, 31.1. 280 And 320. No. It's got to be 42 or 15.
Okay, I figured out how I got the 53.6 again.
Oh, okay. How?
So it's using the outputs. I did price times quantity.
Okay.
And then so year 2017 is 1250, year 2018 is 1920. So I did 1920 minus 1250 divided by 1250, and you get 0.536.
Okay. Can you say that one more time?
So 1920 minus 1250.
Okay. Those are the
You-
totals with the
Those are the totals for 2017, 2018. So then you use the 1920 minus 1250 gets you 670, and then divide that by 1250, and you get 0.536. Multiply that by 100, you get 53.6.
And the 1250 was the total from price and quantity of 2017.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That's so weird they use the price, because I feel like when it says output, that would just mean the quantity. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. Okay, is everyone good with that one? Okay. 16, I wrote D.
So I could be wrong.
No, I'm sure you're not wrong.
No, because I just solved for 2016 to 2017, and I got 42%. So if I got 2 right answers, then I'm obviously doing something wrong.
Oh, when you did.
Yeah, I just solved for it again and got 42% for B. So I'm guessing I'm wrong.
Oh my word. My guess is that it's either 42 or 15.
And I just got 31% for the first one.
What? Okay. Okay, so the way you're doing it is the way they think we're going to do it, and that's why they gave us 3 of the right answers with that way.
Maybe. Because, yeah, I can't get the 15 by the way I'm doing it, so...
So
Maybe.
15's right, but who knows why is the question.
You know what's funny is that's the one that I had originally highlighted.
Right.
And I don't know why or how I did that.
Okay, we can come back to that. That way we can get through these for Clay.
Sorry, yeah.
No, you're good. Because I want to figure out why that's right. 16, I wrote D. Because both the numbers went down in both.
That's what I had.
In 2009, the numbers were lower. Oh, wait, no. In 2009, the numbers were higher than 2010. Okay. 17, I wrote C question mark.
I had D, but I wasn't sure.
Okay.
I wasn't able to work these last few.
Yours
earlier, so I'm
would
trying to
make
look
sense
at it.
though because it goes up more than it goes up $1. It goes from 3 to 4, so for it to grow. Well, no, never mind. I don't know.
So the answer I got was actually 137.5. So it's not. And that was the closest one I got. And that was from me doing it with that formula where you take total nominal GDP, divided by the real GDP, and then times that by 100. So So we're
Okay.
just looking at 2010 and 2011. So for the for the nominal GDP, you do it by the price of that year. And then for the real, you do it the price of the first year. Is that right?
Yeah, based off of the base year, which would be the first year.
Okay, so the nominal is $2 times 80 plus $1 times 100, which is $2.60. And then in 2011, with the nominal,
$4.60.
yeah. Oh, 460. I got 440. Let me see if I did that wrong.
Oh, no, you're right. I can't do math. 440.
Okay, so then for the real, the number's the same for 2010, 260, and for 2011, for the real GDP, it is 2 times 100 and 1 times 120.
Then what's the formula?
And then the formula is for, so first you have to find the deflator, GDP deflator, because you have to put that into the inflation rate formula. So the GDP deflator is nominal divided by real times 100.
So is that the difference between the two, or do you add the two? Or is it per year? Because we have 2 numbers per nominal and 2 numbers for real.
You're right. I don't know. It's
Okay,
got
let's
by year.
let's just finish the last three, because I know someone had to go, and then we can come back and do these last couple math ones.
Okay, 18, I got B. I'm pretty
Same.
sure it's 25, and I just guessed that the output grew based on the deflator.
I have A.
Okay, why do you think the output didn't grow?
I just guessed like you did.
Oh, okay. Okay. And then for Cade, 19, I put C, and 20, I put A.
I have C for 19, and I have C for 20.
What was it you had on 20?
C.
Okay, so like, right, yeah, okay, never mind, that makes sense.
I thought it was A because it's talking about, like, there's that whole section that talks about how, oh wait, this is underground.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I don't know how.
Right, so it's kind of like, I mean, it's like under the table jobs. It's like mowing your neighbor's lawn, and then they like pay you $20. You know, you put on your tax report, right?
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Then.
Well,
Sorry, I feel bad that half the questions are answered.
why is 19 C?
Because it's either C or D, right? I mean,
I had D, so that's just why I'm curious.
So it's C because it's like it talks about GDP per person. Like even like in like some of my political classes, they talked about how the GDP per capita per person is there to like basically measure the average income, like the average amount of money that a person makes in a country or a place.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right, it's kind of like a better way to tell like how well off a country is. Like, it's not perfect, but it in a lot of ways it's better.
And then it talks about how this does not mean everyone makes that much money. It just means the average person does make this much money.
Right.
Okay, got it. That makes sense. I just wasn't sure because GDP always talked about the like overview for the economy, so that's where I got confused.
The other hint was in the question. If it would have just said GDP, then it would have been entire economy. But because it says GDP per person,
That makes sense. Okay.
okay, cool. Well, if you have to go, Cade, we understand.
Okay, yeah, I'll probably bounce out right now. I'll go ahead and submit the test real quick, though.
Okay, good luck.
Which answers did you put on the few that we were questioning so we know if we got them right or not?
Well, yeah. Well, I basically, for the most part, I put like basically the same things you guys put, but this last talking about, was it, remind me, 18, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or which one, what was the last one that we were talking about or arguing over? Was it 18 or 17?
17.
17?
Yeah, the
Okay.
inflation.
All right, for 17, I'm putting D for some reason. Why did we decide on D? Did we decide on D, or did I just throw that on there?
That's what I said, but that doesn't mean it's
Oh.
right.
Okay, well, we'll get your gamble today.
Uh-oh.
So we'll
Okay.
see.
That one's just the only one that kind of made sense to me, but
Okay.
Okay.
it might be very.
For 18, what do you think? Why would the output not grow and why would it grow? So both agree it's 25%.
Okay, guys. So I just got like a 17 out of 20, so that's probably wrong.
Okay.
Yep, just letting you guys know.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yep, no worries. I'll fall on that sword for you guys.
Appreciate it.
Okay, yep. See you later.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I was imagining that we were going to walk away from that.
Yeah. And it's probably the three that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so with the inflation one, so nominal GDP is the one that changes with price, right?
Yes.
But so that it would be reflected in the deflator going up. But it's not by, it went up by 20%, but the price went up by more than 20%. Well, it went up by 1,000, which is like half.
How do you
Technically.
figure out the percent? You do like 3750 subtract 3,000 divided by 3,000?
I think so. What
Okay.
years are we talking about? We're talking about 1975 and 76, right? So yeah, so it's what did I say the formula was? I said it was
750 divided by 3,000 is 25%.
yeah.
Okay, so that must be what I did because I also got 20%.
I just said it grew because our price grew by $1,000, which is like half. If it went up by 25%, so the price was, well, I guess maybe it did. I mean, the deflator went up from 120 to
Would have
150.
been 30 divided by 120, which is also 25%. So they both went up 25%.
Oh, so then maybe the output didn't grow.
You're right.
Is that what you thought, Shanaz?
That's what I had. Yeah.
Okay.
That would make sense because if the deflator grows by the same amount, then it wouldn't, if it grows the same amount as the nominal, I wouldn't think output would grow because then, unless price dropped.
And the deflator is found by the nominal divided by the real.
Yeah.
So the real GDP is in there, so it should go up more than the nominal, like percentage-wise.
If output, yeah. So
Okay.
that would make sense to me, but again, I could be wrong.
I think that's right. Okay. What other ones were we gonna go over?
17 is he said was wrong because he put my 41. So Your 138 made sense because if it grows by over $1, it's growing by 100% plus some. So that would make sense to me.
Well, the thing that we just did on this should translate over.
Right.
So I think you add to. You must do it year by. Because there's 4 numbers, so I don't know.
What 4 numbers do you mean?
There's
Oh, this is the one that you had, the nominal. And the...
440, and then 260 and 320. I don't think we need the.
deflator. Couldn't we just do the prices? So the overall price went from
1 to 2.
Yeah, so if we did that, it would be 2 minus 1 divided by...
Well, no, because the quantities. Oh, I see inflation rate. So just look at the price.
2, but that's 50%. So if we do it by quantity, maybe those numbers would be different. If our final was 240 minus 100 divided by 100, that gives you 1.4, which is close to 138.
Yeah, that's the closest one so far then.
I don't think it's grown by 1%. I can roll that one out, and we can roll out 41.9. So it's either 38.2 because it grows by that much, or it's 138.2.
Okay. Okay, so with the sorry, I'm forgetting my words. With the formula, it says the inflation is GDP deflator in year 2, subtract deflator in year 1. That's the first part. So what is the deflator?
You said it was nominal divided by real. So we have those numbers.
But that's what we still don't know, because do we add them together for both years? Or
No, because you just said it's year 2 minus year 1, right? So we find it for each separate year, the deflator, which is nominal over real, right? Isn't that what you just said?
Yeah.
So nominal for 2010 would be
260.
260 divided by real, which was 260, because it's the same.
Right.
And then you said multiplied by 100? Wait, what did you say? Deflator was? Nominal divided by real.
Times 100.
Times 100. So it's 100%.
So then the first year is 100%.
And then the second year is 440 divided by 320 times 100, which is
137.5.
137.5.
Yeah, and that's what I got.
So, and then, but you said the inflation was year 2 minus year 1?
Okay, let me pull it up. So then to find the inflation, you take the GDP deflator for year 2, subtract year 1.
So that would be 137 minus 100, which would leave us with the 38.2 on its own, not the 138.
And then there's another part of that formula.
Oh.
So year 2, 137, subtract 100, year 1, and then you divide that by year 1 again, and then you times that by 100, which is
So that
10,000.
Right.
Any
No, it's not. You said 137.5 minus 100, which is 37.5, divided by year 1 again, which is 100, which is 0.375, and then you said multiply by 100 again, so it's back to 37.5. So I'm going to say it's B, if I followed that equation correctly.
I'm just going to read it one more time. Year 2, subtract year 1. And that leaves us with 37.5.
Yes.
Okay. Then we divide that by Year
Year
one.
one, which is 100. So that puts us at 0.375.
And then we times that by 100, which is 37.5. Okay.
So I'm going to say it's B.
Yeah, me too. But
Hi, this is Melanie.
usually things aren't that off.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Well, we'll see if we get that one right.
And then the only other one was 15.
And then I had a question on like a couple of the early ones, if you guys have time. Okay, 15. Oh, this problem again. I spent like an hour and a half trying to figure this out earlier. Okay. So we think it's 15.4, but we just don't know why we think that, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so if we use that formula,
So I'm wondering,
nominal,
in the instructions, it says the base year is 2015.
right?
So why would it give us that information if, you know what I mean? But that doesn't make any sense because it's asking how it grew from one year to the next. I don't know. I just feel like that's a random piece of information to give us if it's not relevant.
I think we have to do the same thing as the other one where you find the nominal, find the real, find the deflator, put it in the inflation. But actually, we don't have to go as far as the inflation because it's just saying output. But still.
I just think output grew. Well, if we're using the equation I used, I've got all three answers.
Right.
So that's why we decided on 15.4, right?
Yeah. So if we do it simpler and we just do 100 plus 180 and then 120 plus 200 and find that how would you do it then? So then you do 280 divided by 320. No.
Yeah.
Find the difference of 320 and 280, which is 40, and then you divide that by 280, which is the base.
Mm-hmm.
That's 14.2.
For 2015 and 2016?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's try it. So then from 2016, 2017, so you would do 350 minus 320 divided by 320 and get 0.09, which isn't 15. And then the next year would be 420 minus 350 divided by 350 is 20%. So that doesn't get us anywhere near any of them.
You're right. Okay.
This country's output grew. Output. Because if I do 880 minus 670 divided by 670, I get 31.3. If I do 1250 minus 880 divided by... Yeah, I'm still getting the exact answers for A, B, and D if I do it the way I did it with prices.
That
So
would
I'm
make sense, though.
assuming that's wrong.
Okay.
But that just doesn't make sense as a question. I don't know.
Maybe that's all we can do if we figure out that 3 of the answers are wrong, then
Yeah.
obviously there's a way to figure it out, but at least on the test we know if we do it that way, we'll rule out the wrong answers.
I just wonder if they're like I missed something. I don't know, because I just feel like it's a percentage growth, and that's how you solve it. So it would have to be like, and if I got 3 right answers that are exactly, like I get the exact percentages, not like something close. Like I get the exact ones. So I would just say process of elimination on that one.
Yeah.
But okay, which ones did you have questions on?
Like 6, 7, and 7, like the math behind it. I don't
Okay.
understand those.
Gross national product. I had to look that up in the book. It was. I wrote it down, I thought. Maybe I didn't.
Okay, so I could probably help a little more on that one. So
Oh, I
so
found
the
it.
gross national product is like everything that is like only the income that citizens of like the country make. So for example, if someone from the United States went and earned money in Canada, like that, apparently, if I remember correctly, that money they earn in Canada counts as the U.S. Gross national product, because it's like it's like all income by citizens of the U.S. If that makes sense.
I thought it was the opposite of that.
So the definition I have written down is total income earned by nation's permanent residents.
So, like, if they were to go work for a year in Canada, then that would be in the GDP. But if they had a factory in Canada and they lived there, it would not go to the GDP.
Hold on, I'm looking it up one more time in the book because I had to look it up like 4 different times.
One of the examples was if a U.S. citizen has a factory in Haiti, that does not count towards our GDP. It counts as Haiti's GDP.
Okay, so under the bullet point that says gross national product in the book, it says it differs from GDP in that it includes income that our citizens earn abroad and excludes income that foreigners earn here. For example, when a Canadian citizen works temporarily in the US, her production is part of US GDP, but it is not part of US GNP. It's part of Canada's. For most countries, including the US, domestic residents are responsible for most domestic production, so GDP and GNP are quite close. So it's
Okay.
what is made
National.
by Americans.
So this is everything except for foreigners earn here.
So I subtracted the income that foreigners earn here, and then added the income earned by citizens abroad, which got 204.
Yes.
So you just took the GDP row of 200
Mm-hmm.
and subtracted 5.
Added the 9 and subtracted the 5
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
is what I did, because that's the only thing I could figure out, because it doesn't give you specifics.
Okay, for 7, we both got wrong. We both got opposite answers.
Which one did you get?
I got 3150
And I got 2150.
because
Okay,
I
2150
did.
as well.
I did this one again because it's final product.
So it's just $8 then.
No, so Smith's resells 3 pounds for $4.50, so that's a final product, and then the remaining pecans are shelled and canned and sold for a total of $8. So the
Then why-
$10 isn't taken into account because that's sold to Smith's, and then Smith's is the final seller.
Even though Smith's packaged them 2 different ways.
Yeah, they still sold them last. Like that was the last sell.
So when Smith sold it, that was like I think what the book calls like the intermediate good,
Yeah.
which is like contributed to the final.
Okay, so you did 3 times 4.5
Mm-hmm.
plus 8
Uh-huh.
and got 2150.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then my last question was on 2.
Oh yeah, this one I just... What did you guys have again?
I wrote B. I'm pulling up that chart right now.
Yeah, I had A,
Same.
but I didn't spend a bunch of time on it.
So A is can be computed as payments firms make to factors of production, plus revenues they receive from sales of goods and services. I thought that would be like twice what the GDP is. Because you're counting it when you pay and when you receive.
Yeah, I thought of that too, just as I was looking over it. Something that makes sense. I'm not super sure on it.
Firms use their revenue from sales to pay wages to workers. GDP equals the total amount. Total wages, rent, and profit paid by firms in the markets for the factors of production. So it can be computed as the revenue firms
This one is
from the
so
sale
tricky how it's worded.
minus the payments they make.
Because everything equals GDP. So you can't have two of them because then it will equal 0. It has to be one taking away from the other. Right? That's why I thought it was B, because it says minus. So you're taking something, subtracting. Well, no, that would give you 0 too. I don't know.
So I'm just looking at that chart again, and in the book it says GDP equals the total wages, rent, and profit paid by firms in the markets for the factors of production.
Yeah.
So and then it's talking about how GDP is equal to the amount spent by households in markets for goods and services. So it would be also C is like the same thing said twice, right? Am I going crazy or is that just me?
Revenue received from sale of goods or payments made to factors of production.
That's what your
Actually-
C says?
Yeah.
That's not what mine says on the handout that I downloaded. Okay, I'm going crazy.
Oh, really? Oh,
So
no.
on the group quiz PDF that I downloaded, C says that it can be computed as either the revenue firms receive from sales of goods and services or as revenues they receive from sales of goods and services.
Oh, you're right. Yes, I remember. That's what it did say on my PDF too.
It says
But
on there
on
as well.
here,
Oh, but on here it is different. Okay.
You're right. I remember reading that now, and I was like, okay, it's obviously not that one.
Yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
what is it? Can be computed as either the revenue firms receive from the sales of goods and services.
That might
or
be the right
payment.
answer, actually.
I think it might be because in the book it says it's equal to the total amount spent in the markets for goods and services, and it's equal to the total wages, rent, and profit paid by firms in the markets for the factors of production.
That's right. That's why I was so confused because that's the only one that says the word or,
Yeah.
which
And
is why. But then
on the PDF, it doesn't say that at all.
okay, yeah, I think it's C. I had totally forgotten about that. Because if it's either or, then then they equal each other.
Yeah.
Which the book says they always equal each other. There's like maybe a tiny statistical difference, but
Right. That would be my guess, just because it makes no sense. No, that's why I was like confused when I was going through it, because like none of these really sound right to me.
yeah.
But I mean, that could still be wrong. I just feel like that one does actually sound.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
makes
submit it and I'll see what we get. Oh, we got 19 out of 20.
Woohoo!
Awesome. I wonder which one we got wrong.
I know. Now I'm curious. Because the only three we changed that was different than, is it Cade?
Yeah, Cade.
Yeah, he did
18 different. Or C different. I mean 17. Right?
Yeah, 17. And I don't know what he had on 18 because we talked about that one after, didn't we?
Yeah.
So those two might have been the ones we changed. We also changed